Welcome, everyone, to Respawn Aimfire. This is the Kick-Ass Forever in Gaming podcast brought to you by Affable. It is a very important announcement. We have a barf game this month, and this is the Kerbal Space Program. Kerbal Space Program is right now on sale for 75% off only on the PlayStation Network until 11:59 on 5/8. That's May 8th, which is, if you're listening to this on demand after it launches on Tuesday the 7th, you have exactly 48 hours. That's a lie. You have less than 48 hours. You have less than 2 days to go and get this right now for $10 if you want to play along with us for our barf game. This is important. We wanted to make sure you knew this up front. Kerbal Space Program, $9.99, 75% off on PlayStation Network right now. Go get it. Hey, everyone. I'm one of your usual co-hosts, and we've also got here Adam, Space Monkey Program, Gumbert. How are you, Adam?
Ooh, that's a callback. I will say, if you're a person who has an Epic Game Store and you don't buy anything on it, but you claim every free game, apparently they gave Kerbal Space Program away for free at some point in the past. So check your Epic account and you might already own it.
There you go. And also joining us, we have Alex. What other platforms is this game on, and how much does it cost? Cozina.
Worth pointing out, Kerbal Space Program, as mentioned up front, is currently on sale in the United States. It's also on sale in Canada for the same discount. Normally, this is not the case. Normally, the American and Canadian PlayStation Network sales don't necessarily align all that much, but in this particular case, they did. So if you're in Canada, you want to play Kerbal Space Program, get on that sale soon as well.
You hear that, Jacob McCourt? Go get it. Go get it. Welcome, everyone. We usually put this out on Tuesday mornings at, I did this backwards. This is not the order I usually say this, but I'm going to go with it. Tuesday mornings at 9 a.m. Eastern time on podcast services and YouTube, or you can watch it live right now, who somehow, I don't know how it happens, and maybe like some divine interaction that caused clocks to sync up. Campo63 is literally perfectly on time. Like the moment we hit stream, he showed up in the chat. He's like, it could not be any more on time. You can be in the chat on twitch.tv/affableidiots Sunday evenings around 8:30ish. We're like 7 minutes early because we already did a podcast, and we're like, we're not going to sit here and stare at each other while we pretend we don't all have to poop. And that's how you can do it. And so we've got a lot to talk about on this podcast today. Some games that we've been playing, a super secret thing I've been excited to tell all of you about for about 6 weeks now that I cannot wait to tell the world about. But we're going to start today with the biggest drama going on. No, it's not Kendrick v. Drake. It is Helldivers 2, because this news is bigger, says multiple. So we're gathering some information from around the internet. Here's the rub. The Steam version, for any of you who aren't familiar, that's the client where you download and play games on PC. There are many others, but that's a very popular one. The Steam version of Helldivers 2 will soon require all players to sign in with a PlayStation Network account. The requirement was present. I'm dying.
Oh my God, Chad, please don't die on me.
The requirement was present when the game originally launched, but after its unexpected early success led to severe technical issues, it was temporarily removed. Now, a message from Sony on the game's Steam page confirms that the requirement will return on May 30th. And that all players will need to have linked their Steam and PlayStation Network account by June 4th. Here's a quote from Sony. Account linking plays a critical role in protecting our players and upholding the values of safety and security provided on PlayStation and PlayStation Studios games. Many PC players, particularly those in countries where the service is not available, are clearly not happy with the return of the PSN requirement. At the time of publication, Helldivers 2 has been hit with over 100,000 negative reviews on Steam in less than 48 hours. As Helldiver 2's reviews continue to collapse on Steam, Arrowhead's best-selling action game has been pulled from around 177 countries. And alongside this, players are reporting that the service is issuing refunds for the game regardless of playtime. Normally, you don't get a refund after you played a game for 2 hours on Steam. But now, Steam is saying, we'll just give you your money back, whatever. Amid the anger, Pilestedt, who is CEO of Arrowhead, said that Arrowhead is working on a solution. Here's a quote. We are talking solutions with PlayStation, especially for non-PSN countries. Your voice has been heard, and I'm doing everything I can to speak for the community, but I don't have the final say. That's the extent of the news to report on this. How do you feel about this, y'all?
I mean, man, like Sony, it seemed like Sony was in for a rough year when they announced that they weren't going to be putting out any major big AAA games for the next calendar year, that the PlayStation 5 was halfway through its life cycle, that, the world was on fire. And then Helldivers 2 came out of nowhere, was a tremendous success, continued to do very well for months following its release, didn't seem like it was going to let up. And it sucks that Sony decided, no, we can't have it be that big of a success. We got to go and do something that pisses everyone off, including the people that actually work for Arrowhead, which clearly are very nonplussed about it themselves and have done as much as they can to voice their discontent without drawing the ire of their masters at Sony too much.
Adam, what are your thoughts?
Oh man, it's the thing where I've seen some people say it. It's like, like when you have a golden goose. I think someone's like, all right, Sony's like, let's kill the golden goose so we can get to the one egg underneath it. We just want that one egg. We don't need this goose. Cut its head off and move it out of the way of that. Yeah, it really just seems like an unnecessary move. Like, okay, the idea of you need to have our account to have your product is normal. Like a lot of games do that, like Microsoft games on Steam, sign up or whatever. That's all fine because it's when you buy the game and it's when the game launches. It's not, oh, this game is super popular for 3 months, let's bring it back. And in turn, like, I didn't say it in this report or in this story, but like people who own the game where they don't have PSN in their country, you can't play the game you've already paid for anymore. Like it just locks out of your account. It's not that they pulled it from the store. You literally can't launch the game that you've paid money for and put a bunch of hours into. And of course, you're never going to get a refund for the war bond stuff if you paid extra currency on top of that. So
it really does suck when you get locked out of something in another country, which is why we're proud to announce this episode is sponsored by ExpressVPN. With ExpressVPN, no, I'm just joking.
No, it's true. That it seems unnecessary.
Please sponsor us, ExpressVPN.
I'll take any money they can give you. Because again, for me personally, not affect me. I did it day one. It's cool. It wasn't a requirement, but I did it because that's fine. For them to be like, okay, now that the game is popular. And now that we can force people to sign up for PSN accounts who don't have PSN accounts because this game is so popular, oh, let's just do it. And if they don't like it, oh, well, fuck them. Like, that's the problem when you have paying customers who are sold a certain product. You can do this. Yes, it says you need a PSN account, but we're letting you not do it now. But in 3 months, somehow we're going to... It's not broken, so now you have to do it, even though when it was broken, you didn't have to do it. Obviously, it's stupid. People are locked out of their game. 177 countries just not able to do it anymore. And again, for what reason? Again, I feel bad for Arrowhead because they're just like, they made an awesome game, a great game that people are super into. Yeah. And then your publisher's like, why don't we just do some bullshit because we want to do bullshit? And now they're stuck. They're the ones who are going to be punished for it because all those Steam refunds, like I'm assuming you have to give back a money if a refund comes through. Money that's already been paid out to the team and stuff. So I don't know how that's... I mean, I'm sure Sony probably...
I was reading that like Steam was letting people... giving people refunds even if they had logged over 2 hours into the game. Like it seems like they're being lenient in this case.
Yeah, Steam is... That's why people like Steam. This is why it's the number one used PC platform. Because they're like, oh, you got fucked and it wasn't your fault? We'll waive the rules because we understand that sucks. Yeah, again, it wouldn't be a huge deal just to like sign up and do it, but the fact that they waited so long and it screwed so many people out of a product that they liked and they no longer are able to connect to and have lost money on potentially, that's where it sucks. That's where like you guys got to do better than that. So yeah, that's not good news. And the internet is mad. I think rightfully, because not a lot of times people get mad and it's like, shut up, who cares? I could see if I was in a country and this was my game of the year and I spent $100 on it and they're like, fuck you. Because your country doesn't offer a PSN account, so you can never play this game again. It'd be different if it was like, you can't do crossplay anymore. I'm like, all right, I'll play with PC people. They're like, no, you just can't play it at all. Which is also dumb. Again, it's all over Twitter. There are other PlayStation games on PC that allow you to sign with PSN, but don't require you to. So it's like, if you want to sign in with PSN, you can, but you don't have to. Those games are fine, but the popular new one, you got to sign in with that. Because we got to protect our players. Same shit they said with
crossplay.
When Fortnite kind of forced crossplay. Fortnite's like, no, we're going to do that. And they're like, well, we had to protect our players. And people were like, fuck you, we want to play Fortnite with everybody. And they're like, all right, I guess our players are safe now. Because the biggest game in the world is making us do it. Fucking wild.
You can tell that is their go-to solution now. Whenever they don't have a good reason that they want to tell everyone for why they've done something, their go-to solution is we got to protect the children. We have to protect everyone. Yeah. And in fact, they detailed, I can't remember where it was, but they detailed what this protection, quote unquote, was they were providing, which is basically they just outlined, oh, we need to be able to ban people who are cheating or who are abusing people. And so people need to be able to rely on that safety of us being able to ban them from the game and also allow people to have an appeals process. That's something that we provide if they get banned and they want to appeal it. And first of all, Steam can do that. Steam can ban people. Also, I know personally, firsthand, from a person who's in our chat right now, perfectly on time, Campo63, what it's like to get banned for no reason from Sony, and the fuck shit ton of shit you have to go through in order to get yourself unbanned was unfathomable. So that's not a good excuse, Sony. You need to get something new. Get a new thing. But I'm torn on it as to the requirement, the hard requirement. As you mentioned in the very beginning, it's not a new thing. Every time I log into a Ubisoft game, I have to log into my Ubisoft whatever the fuck account. Every time I log into a Rockstar game, you have to log into your Rockstar account now. And it's like, that's just a thing. And so that part of it is not obscene. The fact that it's just the free tier of having a PlayStation Plus account, and it's one thing if you're like, you bought this game on Steam and now you also have to have a PS Plus membership in order to play it online. That's definitely would be obscene if they required that. But then I cannot believe, this is where they fucked up. I cannot believe that when they announced this was coming back, they did not have a solution ready to go, a PR ready solution for the 177 countries where this game was sold and is currently the #1 selling game of 2024 across the globe. How do they not have a plan for that? How do they not already have something ready to go to say, hey, it's okay if you live in one of those other countries, we've got a solution? That blows my mind. That's how you can tell somebody at PlayStation said, how do we make a little bit more money? Or how do we tell our shareholders we have a lot more? How do we inflate our numbers for PlayStation Network account holders and not even think about the ramifications of what that might mean? They're like, oh, let's exploit the most popular game that's on Steam right now and the most popular game of the year. Shit move.
Yeah. How do we tell our investors we have a bunch of new credit card information? Force everyone to do this, but they can't do it in that country. I don't care. Make them do it. All right.
Right.
Okay. Smart guy. But again, I hope that they reverse it or figure out a solution. Because again, for me personally, in America, where PSN's available and free, doesn't matter. But again, Arrowhead is going to catch the shit for it because their publisher forced them to do it. So I hope they figure out some sort of workaround for those people who can't do that.
And the requirement, it seems like we've got time. It's 25 days from now is when the requirement comes back, and you have to link your account by June 4th. So they've got time to repair this thing and repair this relationship with these players. Let's just hope they do it right and they do it well. Fun game though. I wish I had time to play it. I wish I had time to get back to it. There's just so much Destiny to play. All right.
It's a hot new game. Got to play it right now.
Right
part
now.
Of the conversation.
Let's jump into
Forrest Gump.
Stupid is stupid. Shut up. Let's go into playtime where we talk about what we played this year and this week. Fucking Christ. Okay.
Chad, are you having a stroke?
I am having a stroke. Alex, what'd you play this week?
I played and beat Dave the Diver. Great game. Definitely go back and listen to the Barf episode we did on Dave the Diver. One of our shorter Barf episodes, but not for bad reasons. I think we all, those of us that played more than 15 minutes of it, had a real great time with it. And yeah, I didn't really have much in the way of criticism, so it went by fast. Definitely go listen to our thoughts and go play it yourself. The other game that I started playing immediately after I completed Dave the Diver is a little game by the name of Tales of Kinzera Zhao. Now, Adam, you are actually spearheading a review of this game coming up later this week that I don't think I'm going to be a part of because I have another function going on that evening. But I do hope to write in my thoughts in time for that review to share what I thought of it overall. I'm about halfway through the second act of this game, and I am very tentatively enjoying it. And I say that because I'm actually really enjoying this game. But as I'm playing it, I'm kind of getting flashbacks to Princess Peach Showtime, where that game also had a really strong start. And then the more and more that I played of it, the more its cracks started to show, the more I found myself aligning with where the general consensus was on the reviews of that game. Same thing here. This game has just fantastic feeling movement mechanics. Its combat is great. I find the characters and their voice performances are very strong. Great puzzles. Overall, it's delivering on everything that I want out of a solid Metroidvania experience so far. I don't know if, like, a couple of hours further into the game, the kind of cracks of this game will begin to show further and further, but so far, this game has made a really good first impression. It's really stuck the landing so far. There are some quibbles that I have, some quality of life stuff that I wish this game had that the game doesn't fully kind of live up to. But yeah, so far, I am enjoying this game.
Very cool. Yeah, we'll be recording that this week. So if you have thoughts, if you've played it, write them into the show. Well, actually, if you're listening to this, do it right this second.
Right now.
If you listen to this as a podcast, because it's going to be tonight.
You're flying
if you're
a plane,
listening to
put it on
version.
autopilot, access the in-flight Wi-Fi, pay the $8. It's worth it for this review to get out to us now.
Absolutely. Very cool.
Adam, what'd you play?
I played 2 video games. Yes, I played 2 video games this week, I think. I don't know. What games have I played this year? Chad, let me tell you. No, the first thing I played was, I got on the old computer, right? And there's this game that's been blowing up that people are super into. Another one of them Steam sleeper hits. And I said, oh, you know what? That game's on Xbox. Or, no, excuse me, not Xbox, on Game Pass for PC. So jumped on old Game Pass for PC and downloaded Manor Lords. Been playing a little bit of Manor Lords.
Manor? As
this
in,
was
like,
shown off.
home? Like someone's
Yes,
home?
as in a manor.
Manor Lords.
Lords as in the Jesus Christ. Manor Lords is it's a city builder set in like medieval times. And it's very simply that, but it's also very good. So like the idea of like city skylines, but put it back in the day when you got to raise sheep and fucking till a farm and stuff.
Okay.
It's such a fun chill back. Like, again, people who are into those games, that's like what they're super into. Like, I'm going to build this city. Let me build these highways and shit. But it's like, let me build these hovels next. And I got to put a church because people like going to church back in these days. I got a hole in the ground that we have a well and stuff. And I'm just like slowly building the city up. And it's a super chill, sit back. Game was made by one guy. I think one guy, and he had like some help doing like contracted help or whatever. But it's basically one dude was like, yeah, I wanted to make a city builder set back in space, set back in time. And it's super good, and it's early access, and it's like feels great already. Good for you, dude. It's gonna be one of those big ones. So
Looks like there's also
Very cool.
combat. Like, you can have an army of people with shields and pikes and swords fighting, I guess, other people.
yeah, so like as you build your city up, obviously more people move in if it's a bigger city. You know, you're building a city. It's a city builder, but whenever you want to go take over other counties or have to deal with bandits, like you have to raise an army, and your army are your citizens. So it's like, well, I've got 200 people living in the town. 50 of them are go out to war. I hope most of them come back because then I'll have only 150 people left in my town because they get killed and they don't, like, your resource is in your units is your people. You can hire mercenaries and stuff, but yeah. So it's like, I don't like Sir Galahad. I want to go take his land. Oh, Jimmy, you and your 3 sons, go grab a sword. We're going to take that guy out. And it's like, let's hope Jimmy and his 3 sons come back. So now it's very cool. And again, for it to be early access, it looks great. And it's surprisingly deep. So very cool. Out of nowhere, I was like, what's the new hotness? Manor Lords? Let me check that out. No, that's cool. And then I also played Fallout 76. Guys, the TV show bug caught me.
It's interesting that that's the game you went, and most people are like, oh, Fallout 4, the new patch, all this new improvements, and you went to Fallout 76.
Yeah, well, because I've played Fallout 4 and I've been enjoying the new patch, but I was like, I'm going to do a Fallout thing I have never done before.
Oh, okay.
And it was 76. I'd only played 76 because they did a Battle Royale mode, so I played that. So I had a level 1 character from like 3 years ago just to do the Battle Royale plays. So it's so cool to be able to play a game like this, a games of service, is a lot, whatever, MMO, years afterwards. Because like if I played it at launch, obviously it had issues at launch, whatever. But this far in, I booted up like, oh, this game's great. Like I've been claiming stuff on Amazon Prime, so I've got like 30 fucking resource packs. I didn't know, so it was just beginning. Like I got all the good shit, all the stuff from the Fallout TV shows in the game, and you're playing, and it's like, oh no, the game runs great. There's tons of content to do. The NPCs and like so all the issues that people had when it first came out like don't exist anymore because if you just wait enough time, these games get good. So I'm like, oh yeah, I'm just having fun. I'm just running around doing the Fallout thing in West Virginia. By the way, again, Fallout, the show is really cool because it plays into that music and shit. Obviously, like that 50s style music. The Set the World on Fire is in the game. Let me tell you, Chad, put that radio station on immediately. And then also they have a cover of fucking Country Roads. So I'm just in the West Virginia as I'm running around shooting.
Yeah, that was the big song leading
so
up to that
good.
game.
Well, I mean,
that's
that's, by the way, the best folk American song of all time, Country Roads by John Denver. Let me tell you. But yeah, that song's in the game. So I'm like,
what was that one that was real popular along Wagon Wheel? Rock
Well, yeah,
me,
but that's just
mama, like
garbage.
a wagon wheel. Rock me, mama, in the way you feel. My best friend
something
tours a lot and plays country music. Now he plays only his own stuff, but he used to play a lot of other things. He's like, if I have to play Wagon Wheel one more fucking time, I'm going to shoot myself.
Wagon Wheel is the wonder wall of country music. It is
Yes.
wild. But yeah, no, it's very fun. Cool. John Hanson jumped in with me randomly one day and was just renting my world. I'm like, what up, bud? So yeah, good time. Enjoying it. Again, just a new setting because I've never experienced West Virginia in real life or in Fallout. So it was fun to do.
West Virginia's not too far from you in real life.
I drove through West Virginia when I went to Boston.
Yeah.
I was in West Virginia for like 5 or 6 hours, but it's just fucking mountains and highways.
Yeah.
That's all it
Blue
was.
Ridge Parkway, baby.
No wagon wheels. Yeah.
I'm trying to think if I've been to West Virginia. I was in Washington, D.C. like many years
Probably
ago.
not. Let me tell you, West Virginia, very small state. It's also just like rural. It's like, I don't think there's like a singular big town and that's it. So,
what is the capital of
it's
West
garbage.
Virginia? Where are the McElroys
Huntington?
from? Huntington, that's what it is. Is that the capital,
Are
or is
they
that
from
just
Huntington?
the only one that we know because we listen to the McElroy brothers?
I think that might be it.
What's the capital
Capital.
of West Virginia? Charleston.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Hey.
Is that also the capital of South Carolina? No, it's Columbia.
There is,
JK.
I don't know. Anyways, states, capitals are never actually the biggest cities in
I know,
the state
right?
for some strange reason.
It's weird.
But anyways, yeah. Fallout 76. It's on Game Pass. It's on it's free on Amazon Prime because they're giving out all the Fallout games because the show came out through Amazon. So check it out.
When you
It's
get
fun.
it free on Amazon Prime, is that what is that on Steam? How do you
They give
play it? Is it
you-
on Amazon Luna?
No, they gave you a PC code and an Xbox code. I don't know where.
Oh, that's
what
right, because it's
player
owned
the
by
PC
Xbox
code's
now.
for.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, so they give you those two codes. I don't know what launches, but they do give you free copies if you want it.
Cool. I have a few games to talk about. I'll save the most.
We're gonna save that for the main
best
event?
one for the end. Yes, I did play Dave the Diver. Patreon.com/respawning fire to go vote on. No, you already voted on next month's game, which is 75% off. Kerbal Space Program on PlayStation right now. So I played a little bit of Dave the Diver. I am still, chopping along at Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I have 100%ed Gongaga. I am in the Cosmo Canyon area right now. I believe my card said 22% of the way through Chapter 10's story. So I just watched the dope cutscene in the observatory for anyone who's following along and wants to know where I am. So yeah, still chopping away at that game, loving it. I think I'm 66 hours, I think was the last thing that I saw on my time.
So like halfway.
Yeah, about halfway. Well, yeah, halfway if we're talking about Kerbal Space Program. Jesus Christ, that game is 115 hours just for the main story.
Yeah. Which you don't have to complete the main story, by the way. If you're playing that game along with us, just have fun with it. Right in when you feel like you've seen enough.
I also played Surprise Destiny 2.
The game just came out.
Yeah, it just came out. It's fucking wild. I'm hoping to, beat it in a timely manner so that we can review it on the show. Destiny 2 Pantheon launched this week. It's the boss rush. It's all like a bunch of raid bosses back to back with slightly new mechanics. Slightly meaning occasionally they'll throw in a tormentor. Some tough enemies will have instead of being an orange bar enemy, there'll be a yellow bar enemy. So a little bit more of a bullet sponge. So that's there. We tried the Pantheon a couple times with two different groups, still learning it the first time. I think it was the first day that it launched. We tried it that evening, still learning some things, what weapon loadouts and stuff. And then we tried it again, Dallas and Matt getting back in. Love to see it. So we tried it again with them the other night. Got a little bit further, ran up against bedtime. Dallas wanted to try a new role. So we were like, all right, that's going to take a little bit of time, but we'll let you, feel it out. And then we didn't finish it then. And then today, Audrey and I are like, we were texting last night after we attempted another legend onslaught, and we said, I think tomorrow we're going to do some LFG. We're just going to go to the new Fireteam Finder, find some randos, and do our best to fucking get platinum rewards on these things. Now, in order to get platinum rewards on each of these 4 encounters that are out right now, which is Golgoroth, the ogre from King's Fall, and then the second one is the Caretaker from Vow the Disciple. The third one is, I can't remember, Zork, maybe is how you say his name. The planet.
Is that the bone guy that I was talking about?
No, not the
golem?
bone guy. This one's the planet's room from Root of Nightmares raid. And then the final one is Atrax from Deepstone Crypt. In order to get platinum tier rewards, which is wild, you get all sorts of cool shit from this thing. Like you get adept version of raid weapons, which are things that you can normally only get if you do raids on master difficulty, which is like hella hard. You get adept version of raid weapons. You get deep sight versions of guns from basically any raid can drop from this chest. You get high level gear from a lot of it. And it's just like you get 4 or 5 rewards per chest per encounter. It's fucking wild. And then you get to the end of this thing if you beat all 4, and there's a vendor that's like, hey, you want these raid weapons, that these exotics that are like super low chance to drop from these raids? Here, you can just have one. Pick which one you want. And it's like, holy shit. So yeah, lots of great loot, which makes me think that maybe a lot of it's becoming obsolete in the new expansion, perhaps, or like they're changing the way they're giving away so much shit and rewards for a lot of this stuff that is making me think like, what's the deal? Everyone's going to have all this powerful shit. Is it like not going to matter anymore? What's the... So
let me tell you what happens with every Destiny expansion. Everything you did before doesn't matter. You got to get the new shit.
Here's the fun new thing they announced, though. The fun new thing they announced was that they are unsunsetting. They're sunrising everything. A few years ago, they sunsetted some weapons, some locations, all of that kind of stuff, and they are changing the way power level works, and everything's just going to adapt to whoever's the highest power level in your party. And they said we couldn't figure out how to do that without also letting all the old guns that we purposefully made lower level so you don't use them anymore automatically level up too. So we're just surprised those guns are usable again. So they're unsunsetting guns. But the last thing about this, in order to get the platinum rewards, you actually have to do each of these encounters in a very short amount of time. So like 6.5 minutes for the first encounter. I think it's like 7 or 7.5 minutes for the second encounter. Like very quick things that if you do the encounter as intended, you're not going to do it. But if there's like a very specific way on each of these to kind of like not quite cheese, but like a strategy that you have to be on like in the know in order to know how to do it. And use the exact right weapon set, use the exact right loadouts, all of these kinds of things, and then just like do this thing you would have never expected to do. That's how you can get the platinum tier. We did it in under an hour today. Me, Jerica, Audrey, Alex joined us, and then Audrey's like, hey, a year or 2 ago, when I first ran my first Grandmaster Nightfall, this rando helped us do it. Let me go reach out to him and send him a message and see if he can help us on this. And then he had another person come in too, and we just fucking smoked it. We just like it was like first or second try on almost every encounter. Less than an hour, beat the whole thing, got platinum rewards. Papa John's, it was so good.
Very nice.
And every week they're adding a new raid boss and making it just a little bit harder every single time too. So excited to do that for the next 3 weeks.
Now, obviously, Chad just said a bunch of words that mean absolutely nothing to me, right? But I will say, Destiny 2 definitely, this new season before the last thing is like, they're very much like, fuck it, have everything. We don't give a fuck anymore. None of this means anything. Here's everything, have fun, because we're about to do. It feels like they're sunsetting maybe the way that Destiny 2 works. Maybe what this game is, you know? Like, I think after this last expansion, it's going to be not necessarily Destiny 3, but I think we're nearing the end of whatever this whole journey has been. Not just story-wise, but like content-wise, because they're just like, fucking have it all. And then they're going to probably do something cool new. But it definitely feels like everyone I've talked to is like, they're just fucking giving you fucking lose a boss, and they're like, here's 5 exotics, we don't give a shit.
Right.
Fucking take all of it. So,
and for the last 2 months, you just log into the game once a week, and they give you 700 Bright Dust, which is like currency you can spend on like things in the store. It's like, why? Yeah. Why are you just like giving away so much shit for free? We'll see. We'll see what it all means in just 4 weeks.
But now we got the main event, though, Chad.
Now we got the main event. Okay. I'm going to switch to a different layout. Y'all. how many weeks has it been since PAX? 5, 6 maybe? We went to PAX East in Boston.
Yeah.
We went as press, media, content creator, whatever it is. We went and we saw a lot of things. Some of the things that we got to see were also behind closed doors things that were embargoed. And this is one of those things. The way that this all works is that a few weeks before PAX starts, we start getting emails saying, hey, we're going to be at PAX. We're showing off this game. We make an appointment. We'll come on by the booth on the show floor. We'll slot you in. I'm like, cool. And a lot of times they tell you what they're working on. There was a game company called Pickpock Games. Pickpock Games, if you've never heard of them, I had not, apparently is the largest game developer and or publisher. This is what they told me in the appointment. The largest game developer and or publisher, I can't remember which one, in the entire country of New Zealand. And here's the, I'm gonna show you a game that they are known for making. So this is a game called Into the Dead, Our Darkest Days. If you're watching the YouTube version, I'm just silently playing the trailer in the background here. It's like a, you know, post-apocalyptic. There's some zombie stuff going on in here. It is like a terrifying looking, really moody game. The actual game itself, I believe, is 2D, but this trailer is 3D. But it gives you the idea of the theme and the. And
it kind of reminds me of like This War of Mine, like the actual gameplay. It's like This War of Mine, but like you're surviving in a zombie apocalypse instead of like a war.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the game that this company has made. And when they sent me an email saying, sign up for Game X, Game Y, and then the third one was unannounced VR title with platforms defined as MetaQuest 3, MetaQuest 2, and Apple Vision Pro, I said, I'm really curious about this. And they mentioned in there, you know, there's going to be an NDA, there's going to be, you know, an embargo, don't talk about this game, you just have to respect all of that. And I said, I'm really curious. Alex, you look like you have something you would like to say.
If I can, you know, interject for a second, like, you know, the thing about these games that are not properly announced at PAXs and other similar events is you don't necessarily know what you're going to get. And sometimes you can get something really solid. You might remember from the PAX episode that my game of the show was Duck Paradox, which was a roguelite shmup game where you're going through these puzzle rooms trying to avoid ethereal ducks, solving puzzles and stuff like that. That was a game that I forget, was it Midwest Games? Doesn't matter. Midwest Games advertised it as an unannounced shmup roguelite game. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to take a gamble on this one. And I came away pleasantly surprised. I certainly couldn't have predicted that it was going to be this weird game where you're a scientist going around solving puzzles with ducks. But overall, it was a gamble that paid off.
So I took a gamble. It's a VR game too, so it's something that needs dedicated space. And so when I got the invitation, it was actually in a conference room that was at a neighboring hotel right beside the convention center. And I walk in, Joel Campos, who's from Pixel Street Podcast, he and I walk in together. Yes, Joel, it is time. He says, oh my God, it's time in the chat. He and I walk in to this place a little bit early, actually. We were trying to find it, make sure we were there on time. We're walking a little bit early, and it says the name of the game on the sign outside, and I actually walk right by it. And Joel says, this is us. And I said, no, I don't. Oh. So I forgot it was unannounced. I didn't expect that to be there. I walk into this room. 100% immediate feeling of, oh shit, this game is not for me. There are probably 4 or 5 people in this room looking at me so excited, like they haven't seen a human in days. They are so excited to show me Rival Stars Horse Racing VR Edition. And so I'm playing the trailer that just dropped 5 days ago as of the embargo. Rival Stars Horse Racing VR Edition. And they were so excited to show me this thing. And I had so many feelings going through my brain at the same time. One was, this is not my type of game. What have I walked into? 2 being, holy shit, though, it's a VR game, so I'm down to try anything. And then the last thing being, this is going to be the best story I've ever had. And I have to do this right now. And so we committed on the spot. We said, let's go. Absolutely. I'm in. This is a game. This company is also apparently known for a horse mobile app This is a game for those of you who are not able to watch the video version. It's a game where you get to live out your horsey girl fantasies. If you all knew that horsey girl in elementary school, high school, however long that horsey girl followed you around, that girl, this is all she would ever do with the rest of her life if she had this game. It is racing the horse, if you could call it that. It is brushing your horse. It is feeding your horse carrots. It is seeing them in a field. It is breeding your horses. And from what I understand from the demo, you do get to watch them breed. I did not get to demo that part as they were only about 3 weeks into the build for the demo that I saw. But yes, this game is a horsey girl's dream. And so apparently there's a mobile version of this game that exists already. And there is...
Which apparently is huge.
That mobile version is enormous. Yeah, you look this thing up on the App Store and it's fucking wild. This game is so successful. There's a PC version of it as well. And this is now just the VR edition of the game that they are working on. This game is not necessarily a bad game. The demo itself was not great, but it could be the greatest game in the world. The experience that I had, though, was priceless. So yeah, we walk in, they sit me down, they put the headset on. They're all so excited to talk to me about horse games, and I'm just like, in my brain, I'm like, imposter syndrome like crazy. I was like, yeah, this is great, let's go. Put me in, strap me in. So they put me into the headset, I'm sitting on a chair, and the first thing they teach me how to do is horse race. And you have the MetaQuest controllers, which are the two like little joystick things in your hand. And he's teaching me, all right, you pull on the reins to turn left and right. In order to speed up, you go up and down. So it looks like you're jerking off two wieners of people sitting next to you. And then, or maybe that's to build up energy, and then to actually expend the energy and speed up, you punch forward as if you're punching two people in the dicks that are standing right in front of you. And so he said, all right, let's do it. Let's do your first race. And it's just me sitting in the chair with a MetaQuest doing this over and over, going up and down, and then back and forth, and then up and down, and then back and forth. And there's no turning. It's just a straight shot. And they are using assets from the mobile game as stand-ins for the VR version. So it is also like little tiny, super jumbo like sized pixelated versions of mobile assets in this 3D world that did not look good. The hair looked like a fucking Brillo pad. It kind of still does in the no, it looks better in this trailer. But
I would say this trailer it looks a lot better than what you played, right?
Yeah.
But they've maybe had some time with it.
Joel was sitting in the room watching. I don't know how he didn't fucking just lose it the whole time. So yeah, we do the race. I get to explore the environment. I get to go feed it a carrot. I get to brush it, and the people the whole time are like talking through. Oh yeah, our users, they really loved being able to like brush the horses, and they love it, and they really love the ability to like interact with it. Oh, why don't you go pick up that carrot? Yeah, and then you can feed it the carrot. Oh, and of course I played a VR game before, so I'm already just instinctively, oh, let me go. There's a carrot there. Let me go pick it up. He's like, oh, you're already getting it. Then they take me out to where they train the horses, and it's like this big giant circular, like a merry-go-round almost, with like little walls to keep pushing the horses forward so they get their exercise. And there's a fucking horse that's like walking along in it, and then it just completely does a 180 and starts turning backwards and ramming itself into the wall. There are horses in the fucking field that you're looking at that are just turned over, rolling around on their backs like dogs, and Joel talks to the person beside and says, do horses really do that? Do they roll around on their backs like that? And I can't remember what Joel telling me in the chat what she said verbatim, but it was something like, yeah, I guess they do, or something like that. And it was just the best experience of my life and the best 30 minutes that I think I've ever had with a friend. Joel and I just shared trauma there, brings people together. We became so close in that moment. And at the very end, as we were walking out, they said, oh, Joel, yeah. So Joel said, do they really do that? And the woman says, after a long pause, sometimes. On the way out, they, of course, reinforce the embargo. Don't talk about it till April 30th. And then they said, would you all like a t-shirt? And I immediately said, yes, 100% yes. And this is that t-shirt. I have not been able to wear this t-shirt on this podcast, but I've wanted to for so long. Not that you would even really recognize it as a VR version of this horse game, but yes, I have a t-shirt now of this horsey game. And Joel, I don't even think Joel understood the question when they asked about the t-shirt, but I said, yes. And then we got t-shirts now. Joel, did you even pick up a t-shirt? I can't even remember. Anyway, that is, what is it called? Horse VR. I can't even remember.
It is called
Rival Stars
Rival
Horse
Stars
Racing
Horse Racing
VR edition.
Edition.
So if you are
Rival Stars Horse Racing.
a horsey person, or if you know a horsey person in your life who also has a MetaQuest or apparently an Apple Vision Pro, you are in luck. This game is right up your alley.
They have the YouTube app that you can use to watch videos of horses on the Oculus set.
So that's it. I've been wanting to tell you about that for a long time.
Yeah. This story is the best story ever. By the way, you're not the only person who did that appointment. Our former guest, CG Danny V, also took that,
Really?
not knowing what the VR game was. And that's the thing where, like, obviously, I'm not a super big horse person. I do not have a VR headset. Would I love to borrow someone's VR headset and play this weird-ass horse game for an hour? Absolutely. 100%. I want to play this. And again, the story, like you said, is 100% worth it. I'm sure that obviously from the mobile game, horse people love this video game. It's a weird thing to have embargoed behind closed door at PAX, I think. It feels a little strange to be the secret thing at PAX, but I'm not going to lie, it worked on me. I wasn't going to play this game ever before. I might play it now. So
two really, really great things that came from it. One of them being right after this, we all came back to the Airbnb and we straight up gave a press conference. We said, all right, everyone in this Airbnb right now, we have something to tell you. And we there was a keynote or a PowerPoint that Joel had made or something like that. And we were showing off images.
What was cool about it is recently you might have gotten a look at the, what was it? RAF Pretty. We recently released the RAF Pretty that we did live at PAX East. Before we recorded that RAF Pretty, we basically used that setup to deliver your E3 presentation on this horse racing game, and it was quite the scene, I gotta say.
Yeah. And the second one of my favorite things is just anecdotally, they told me while I was sitting in the chair. This was Sunday morning, I think, the last day of PAX. They told me I was the first person they had given this demo to. And so 3-4 days of PAX later, I probably crossed paths with CG Danny B on his way to this thing, maybe if he also played this probably right after me. Just a great story. And I'm so glad they did the unannounced thing, because I would not have played this otherwise, but I'm so glad I did. That's it.
Best moment. By the way, I will say the thumbnail for this episode, I'm sure there will be a Helldiver man, maybe. There better be a horse.
Oh, there will be a horse. And in fact, Cozy, if you have that thumbnail or that thumb drive somewhere with the press kit on it, if not, I'll find a picture of some mobile asset horses.
Well, I wasn't part of that, so I don't think I got the assets.
No, but I think we left them plugged into your computer or something, or maybe Joel has it or something.
Maybe.
Anyway, that's it for playtime. Let's move on to our quest log and then game on game show and get out of here. And segment from Adam. So, quest log. We have one quest in here. You know that time? You know when your brain looks at something and it surprises you, but your mouth starts talking and you're like, am I really about to say this? And I thought we were about to say Take-Two sluts, but no, it's Take-Two shuts down some great ideas, says Wesley LeBlanc at Game Informer. Take-Two Interactive has closed Roll7 and Intercept Games, the studios behind Roller Dome and Kerbal Space Program 2, respectively, which is notable because number 1 is our barf game this month. After a report from GameDeveloper.com indicated Take-Two was laying off 70 people at Intercept Games, Bloomberg released a report confirming that Take-Two was shuttering both Intercept Games and Roll7. Oh, sorry, let me transfer away from this horse game. There we go. Now, in a new update from GamesIndustry.biz, the publication reports that Take-Two has shuttered the, quote, vast majority of Private Division's teams, which is an indie publishing arm under Take-Two in Seattle, New York, Las Vegas, and Munich, according to one of its sources. And these closures arrive roughly a month after Take-Two announced that it was laying off 5%, which is 579 employees at its various companies while canceling projects in the works. Related, the publisher also acquired Gearbox Entertainment in late March, just a handful of weeks ago. Thoughts?
Obviously rough stuff. You hate to see it, especially the whole Private Division, because I like so EA has EA Originals, obviously Take-Two had Private Division, which is like a big company helping out a smaller game to push it out and see what it is. Like we wouldn't have It Takes Two, Tales of Kenzera. I believe Outer Worlds was a Private Division game. I believe the first one was before they got bought by Microsoft. So like, there's good stuff that comes out of there. And then for me, it really sucks with Roll 7 because I love those Ollie Ollie games. Like Ollie Ollie World was. I don't remember if it was on my list for Game of the year it came out. It was definitely on the short list. If not on the top 5, it was definitely in the top 10. So it's like, obviously, again, this is a thing happening all over the place. But I hate when whole teams go. Like it sucks when people lose their jobs, period. But it was like, I don't know. You would hope that the teams in the IP maybe exist at some point, but it's like they're all gone. So that sucks, obviously.
And as has already been pointed out by many people online, it sucks that all these people are being laid off at these, small-ish independent outlets. Independent, that isn't actually accurate in this case. We just did a Dave the Diver thing when we were talking a lot about the delineation between independent or independent-seeming developers. These are small developers working on small-scale games that are working for a big publisher that is on the verge of putting out probably the single biggest game of all time, GTA 6, and somehow said big publishers like, nah, we can't handle these small guys. We got to shut them down. We can't defer any of the profits we'll get from GTA 6. We got to close up shop.
I mean, if they have to make cuts, because they have to make their numbers look good for their stockholders, they're not going to lay off anybody from Rockstar, so they got to start look somewhere else,
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it's these people, but that's how it goes.
Yeah.
Rough stuff.
And of course, this is just another in a long string of layoffs in an industry where there's nowhere to go, which sucks.
Go into banking, apparently. Good security in banking software development.
Oh, banking software. There you go. Although I assumed just like the government that most banks run on like Windows 95 still. And so
probably. That makes it real easy. All you got to do is keep it updated. Like the defrag button once in a while, you're good to go.
All right, that's it on our quest log, which brings us to do we have one of these? Adam, do we have one of these today? Okay.
I got a light one. Yeah.
Segment from Adam, segment from Adam, a segment from Adam, a segment from Adam. That's the Chocobo theme song from Final Fantasy.
Oh, I got you. This week's segment from Adam. We didn't do it last week. Haven't done it in a couple months. I was like, you know what? A good time for a check-in, and why not? This is RAF 2024 Fantasy Critic Check-In. Ooh. What's going on? What are the moves? What's happening? So, at the beginning of the year, we all did a... Show me your moves. FantasyCritic.games. It's a website where you draft, like fantasy football, a team, and based on their scores on OpenCritic, you get points, and whoever's the best team at the end of the year wins. It's all about foresight and getting the right games and calling the right shots. So I will go down each of our teams by their team names and talk about what's come out and if they made any moves. So first up, we have Cozy Bear Productions, LLC. Not really a funny goof or anything. Pretty straightforward. Not very interesting, but that's
Which is
fine.
okay.
So Cozy, yeah, if you want to be like that. Cozy still only has one game out, but Cozy did have Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which has netted him 25 points, so very good. You want to have one of those. Not a lot of games come above 90 every year, so having one of them on your team is definitely a good one. None of his other games have come out. I see that he has picked up in the meantime.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I acquired 3 games. I acquired Alan Wake 2, Night Springs, because the original Alan Wake reviewed incredibly well. Now, the kind of one point of concern on this one is I feel like historically Remedy's DLC content hasn't necessarily reviewed incredibly well. I don't remember the DLC for Control like blowing anyone's socks off,
By the way,
example, even though I thought it was very solid.
I did this research because I was looking in another league. Control DLC actually was like all in the 80s. So actually, surprisingly well. I was like, "Oh, really?" I thought it was like in the 60s.
I'm betting that the incredible amount of goodwill and popularity for the base version of Alan Wake 2 will carry over to Night Springs. Night Springs is also releasing pretty late into the year, later than I thought it was going to be releasing, and so my hope is that they will have been given enough time to really put in all the extra effort that Night Springs needs to, potentially really pop off. After that, I acquired Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. I figured it wouldn't hurt to have another big AAA game on the list. This is coming from a pretty reputable developer that has put out a lot of great games in the past. Will this game live up to those prior games' heights? We will see. There were some things that gave me pause in that reveal of the game from a couple of weeks back, but I figure at the very least, good bench warmer to have on this list. And last but not least, I put World of Goo 2 on this list. The original World of Goo was a game that was very highly acclaimed back in the day. I previously talked about how IGN voted the original World of Goo over Super Smash Bros. Brawl for the best Wii game of 2008. It's been over a decade since the release of the original game, however, and a lot has changed in the industry. So will World of Goo 2 hit on the same level? I don't know, but I feel like it's a pretty safe bet to rack up at least some points when it comes to the indie game category.
All right, very good. Next up, we have Boobysoft from chat. That's a good name. I like creative, fun names.
Thank you.
No movements as far as new games on here, but you do have 2 scores for games.
I do.
Because I think last time we only had 1. Mario vs. Donkey Kong Remake got you 7 points as a 77 overall on OpenCritic. Princess Peach Showtime gets you 5 points for being a 75 on OpenCritic. Probably not what you were expecting from a Nintendo game, but being positive in this game is never a bad thing. So there's that.
But I also, if anyone's out there being like, what's going on, chat? I have 3 more big potential games, like Senua's Saga coming out in a couple weeks. I got Black Myth Wukong, which looks impossible, but also beautiful, and apparently it's coming in August. And then we got that nerdy-ass anime Persona game, Metaphor Refantasio, coming out. So, like, those are going to be some high-scoring games. And
which now has a release date, by the way.
What?
Metaphor has an official.
It does,
Metaphor has
like
an official
October
release
or
date.
something like that, right?
October 11th.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I've got 4 open slots for Summer Game Fest news. So, as opposed to Adam, which has 1,000 trillion points and only 1 slot to pick up new shit. So.
Oh no! How will I live with all my games close to 90? How will I survive?
We didn't mention this when we were going over my games earlier. One of the games that I had in my original draft was Hades 2, which was a game that I feel we were a little bit touch and go on that game for a while, but recently that game had its big ol' early access, public, whatever it was called. What was it called?
Technical test.
It was like a test event or something. Yeah.
And doesn't mean it's necessarily going to have its final big blowout super official release later this year, but I feel like it does make things more likely, so I'm crossing my fingers on that one.
I just hope for Adam's sake that game comes out this year, because I would love to play full release Hades too. We'll see what happens though. And moving on to our last team name, it gets more ironic as the time goes on. What's left of Embracer, my team? When I started this joke, it was now it's actually just fucking fully like they literally sold off half the company.
Right. And now there are 3 companies with stupid names.
Yeah. Awful. And Friends or whatever that stupid shit is. All right. So I don't remember what I said last time, but I had the games that I drafted. I also have Paper Mario, Microsoft Flight Simulator, Rise of the Golden Knight, or some of the games that are sitting on the bench. But total overall, 74 points. Persona 3 Reload getting me 17. Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth getting me 20. Dragon's Dogma 2 getting me 17, and Tekken 8 getting me 20. And I think the next game to come out for me is probably Paper Mario. Yeah. Paper Mario, Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erd Tree.
I feel like Flight Simulator comes out really soon too, doesn't it?
It doesn't have a date, but you assume in the summer they'll be like, it's coming out in a month or 2 or whatever. The only real game on my list that I haven't mentioned yet that I am not worried about but interested to know is, Hollow Knight Silksong. Hope it's this year, because that would be great, because I just want to play it and I'm sure it will score well. But
it has an official store listing now.
It does, so we'll see. So but yeah, currently I'm in the lead with 74 points, Chad with 12, and Cozy with 25, but it's still anybody's game. There's still a lot of games to come out. We will see how it goes. Now remember, just as a heads up, you do still have to pick a counter pick, which is a game that locks that game onto their team. If it goes below 70, you get positive points. If it goes above 70, you get negative. If it doesn't come out at all, it's 0 points, but that means it's stuck on their roster, getting them 0 points for the year.
We have to have a counter pick?
It's like October 30th or something. Okay, you have to have a counter pick in. So you've still got a little time, but just a heads up. Like the minute that they say like Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater doesn't come out, I'm counterpicking the shit out of that game. Like 100%. So we'll see. But anyways, that is our update on our Fantasy Critic League.
All right, great segment from Adam. And we don't have a jingle or an intro to this one or anything. It's just Cozy. You got a question this week? Cozy question of the week?
Yeah,
Cozy?
I got questions of the week. This is it's supposed to be bi-weekly segment, but I feel like it's been like 2 months since we last did this particular segment, in which I present to you questions that I wrote into Kind of Funny that they either have chosen not to read on their shows or might never read on their shows. I want the two of you to pick two numbers between 1 and 11. Chad, you go first.
Again, are they integers?
They are whole numbers.
All right. 4 and 5.
I mean, I was gonna let.
You said each of us pick two
Adam
numbers.
Choose one of them. All right. I was perhaps not as clear in my instructions, Chad. I'm looking for both you and Adam to pick two numbers between 1 and 11, but I only
semantically,
want you
that still
to pick
results in
one
the same result.
whole number, aka an integer, from 1 to 11. What is your one singular number that will add up to a total of two numbers after Adam, after your decision, will have chosen his own number?
All right, 4. I'll go 4.
Respecting the fact. All right, there we go.
I'll go 5.
All right. Here, let's see. Question number 4. America's top tree scientists have crossbred a singular tree that can produce any food product as its fruit. As the head scientist of this operation, what food product would you have this tree produce?
Literally my gut answer before you even finished saying it's going to create a food product of your choice, like I knew where it was going, and I said Pop-Tarts. And that just lets you show, like, that goes to show how much of a stranglehold Pop-Tarts have around my brain. It is something that I have refused to eat for the last, 15 years. Because that's the one trigger food that makes me remember when I was fat and I ate almost a box of Pop-Tarts a day as a young child.
A day?
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah, sometimes it was an entire box of Pop-Tarts per day. But no, I don't want it to be Pop-Tarts, obviously, because of that reason.
Mm-hmm. The idea for me is like, what's actually useful? Because you could say like, I want it to be pizza, but it's like a pizza off of a tree. Like, how is that going to help people? It'd be like, right. I mean, obviously rice is easy, but like that's a food that like feeds a lot of people, is small, but has a lot of carbs. Obviously there's rice naturally, but like trees of like a super sustainable food sounds good for the world.
Wow.
But that's not fun.
Going altruistic. Does food count? Like, do beverages count in food?
Yeah, sure.
I would want Mountain Dew, Zero Sugar, Spark. Tree.
Ooh.
Because here's the thing.
For you.
Here's
for your
the
backyard.
thing. I have not seen a zero sugar version of this Mountain Dew in maybe 6 months. It just does not exist at grocery stores or Targets or anywhere out here. I've only seen the regular zero sugar Dew. But here's the other thing. All of the grocery stores that I've been to around this area, if they have zero sugar variants of these things, it increasingly is becoming more and more that they have like one 12-pack. And the shittiest thing about it is when they're like, hey, these are now buy 2, get 3 free. And it's like, but you only have one. I want 4 other ones, but you only have one. So like, if I could just have a tree that grows me zero sugar Mountain Dew Spark, that's it.
So for this particular question, I went in a bit of a weird direction. Or maybe, I don't know. I'll see how you guys feel about this one. The first food that came to mind for me was lasagna. Because I tried to think, what's a delicious food that I would say in general is not very good when bought from the store and is incredibly time consuming and laborious to make.
Yeah.
Obviously there are foods that are, even more laborious and take even more time than lasagna. If you're talking about like a ham hock or like a turkey that you gotta smoke or baste for like hours and hours on end.
Yeah, but nobody wants to eat those all the time. Everyone wants lasagna.
Yeah, exactly. And so I feel like lasagna is a really good intersection of like a food that just takes a whole lot of time to produce, that if you could just pluck it from a tree and it tasted as good as like your homemade version of lasagna, I would absolutely take. Now, the only thing is I don't really know I'm trying to picture in my mind, like, what would a lasagna fruit look like? Like when you brought up the Mountain Dew Zero Sugar Spark, I'm like, oh, it's the Mountain Dew bottle, and you literally just pluck it from the branches.
I don't do bottles.
I don't know if the
bottles always taste more flat and weird and gross. The cans are where it's at.
Cans, bottles, same difference. But with the lasagna, I'm like, is it like a ball of like lasagna matter? Is it like a square, like a cube of lasagna matter? I don't really know what it would look like, but that would probably be my answer.
It's a good answer.
My real answer is LITs, just in little pouches of LITs.
LITs?
Long Island Iced Tea, baby.
Oh, I've never heard those abbreviated before.
Wow, that's very common. LIT is super common.
Oh,
yeah, it is.
Is that what it means when people say "let's get lit"? Or this is going to be lit.
By pouches, do you mean like a Ziploc bag, like an edible Ziploc bag?
No, like margarita mix comes in a pouch.
Oh, okay.
Or like a Capri Sun.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but just alcohol.
I like that.
Okay.
All right. Second question, and is as dumb as the last question was. Get ready for one that's even dumber. What would you rename the moon to?
See, this is one that our ignorance led us to name it this right off the bat. But then the vanity that like our moon is called the capital moon is something I take issue with. Like if there were a statue of the moon somewhere in a city, I would say tear that statue down. Let's make something a little bit more like, let's call it Titan or Io. You know, all those other cool ass moons of other places. So I would name it. You have to sing it when you say it. It's Liberty, 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 Liberty. That's what I would name our moon. Liberty.
Liberty, 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 Liberty.
Yeah, in the U.S., Liberty Mutual is an insurance company, and their theme song is Liberty, 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 Liberty. So.
They have a baby says it too. That's cute. So here's the thing: is I just did some research. I always thought that the moon's like proper name was Luna, which apparently is like the Roman like named it as after like a goddess, named it Luna. So let's just call it Luna because that's what I thought its real name was anyways. Just like the Earth is what, Terra, technically? Earth is Terra? Or do they just say that in movies, or like the Terrans?
The Latin root Terra means like of the Earth.
Yeah, let's just go back to Latin roots and these old words. So Luna and Terra are the new official, are the government names for these celestial bodies. Yeah. We gotta call them by their full name, which is Luna Lovegood.
Excuse me, Luna Moon Lovegood. Get your ass over here. You know what you did.
I love it.
I was thinking, when I first conceived of this question, I was thinking, like, why not call it, like, I don't know, Michael or George or something like that. There's nobody saying that we have to name it.
How about George Michael?
After, like, a Greek goddess.
George Michaels, perhaps. How about this? We'll give it, like, a really cool, like, weapon name. That would be like in Destiny
Weapon
or like
X.
Well, no, Tidebreaker because it controls the tides. Oh, that's fucking. If you picked up a gun called Tidebreaker in Destiny, you'd be fucking hyped.
Yeah. What about Chicken Chaser? Chicken Chaser.
How about Moon 2?
No, we'll just go straight to Moon 3, and then people will be like, "I haven't seen Moon 1 or Moon 2." Like, well, you missed it. You missed out.
Yeah, you missed it. It's Moon 3 now. Sorry.
And
Moon
that's
Endgame.
Moon Endgame. Moon and Wolverine. And that's it for Cozy's question of the week.
Woo! This normally would be the time for Game on Game Show. And I do have a Game on Game Show prepared, but also for some reason my main display... Oh, here we go. I think we're... Oh, no. My main display right now is going at like a frame a second, which would make this game very difficult to do. So I think I'm going to call an audible and we're going to cut it. No, wait.
Bad.
It's back now. No, it's not. We're going to cut it.
It's acting silly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is funny because my other display that my iPad that I have you all down here is running like flawless 60 frames a second. It's beautiful. But then it's like my 5K display that I'm looking at is like, my mouse is moving like a freaking jellyfish on land.
That's too bad. Gus the Goose was really excited to get filleted again. He just was so excited to just get completely demolished.
You know what's funny? As soon as you brought
Adam.
up Gus the Goose, that thing, like, it started working again. We're going to do it. We're going to try it out. Worst case scenario, we cut it off. All right, we're doing 2 more rounds of. Sorry, it's time for Game On Game Show. The Game On Game Show. We play a game called Game On. The Gaming Show. And a game show. Game. We got 2 rounds of GameStop Blackjack to play, which is our favorite game where we look up trade-in values at GameStop and try to guess a number for some reason that we go under or over. Who knows? Today we have 2 rounds. One of them is a Goaty themed round. So I want us to pick 3 games that were somehow nominated at Jeff Keighley's awards last year, at the Game Awards last year. It doesn't have to be Game of the Year specifically, but 3 games that were nominated. And I want you to come in as high as possible. The goal here is, do these things still have value? They were nominated and they're prestigiously recognized. Do they still have value? So that's the game this time. Get as many points as you can, as fast as you can, in 3 games. And again, you have to specify what platform, because we know that they differ based on what platform you specify. So specify the name of the game, what platform, and I'll tell you how much it costs. So, Adam, you won our game last time. So, Alex, we're going to let you go first. Alex, what is your first game that was nominated for some kind of game award last year?
I mean, I guess I should probably keep it simple. Spider-Man 2.
Oh, Spider-Man 2. Oh, let me go to my 3+ screen layout here so that people can see what's going on. Oh, horse is over the fucking everything right now. Hold on, I gotta turn off the horse.
You can't escape.
Can't escape the horse.
It'll never let you escape.
Okay, and let me turn on. Oh no, this didn't capture the goddamn. All right, we're back to moving it like a snail's pace. Refresh rate. Here we go. GameStop Blackjack. Okay, here we go.
Spider-Man.
So you've chosen Spider-Man 2, Radioactive Spider-Man. Let's see. Did that come out cross-platform, or is that just PS5? It's just PS5, right?
Pretty sure it's just PS5. Yeah.
Okay, Spider-Man 2. The trade-in value at the American freedom-based GameStop. Take a guess. How much do you think this game is worth? Trade-in value.
I'm going to say 35. I don't know.
Very close. It's $33.
Oh.
All right, so Cozy, you have $33 on the board right now. Adam, some kind of Game Award nominated game from last year. What's your pick?
Tears of the Kingdom, Nintendo Switch.
Oh, Tears of the Kingdom. All right, let's go over to our magical 8-ball. And while I'm looking this up, Adam, let me know what you think this is going to go for.
I would say probably similar, probably 33 to 35, somewhere in that range. If I had to guess, because Nintendo, got a Nintendo.
Well, I type Kingdom.
Kingdom.
Tears of the Kingdom for Nintendo Switch, $33.
Ah, there we go.
Might this be a trend where we see these games all being $33 who are Game of the Year nominated somehow?
The problem is after about 3 or 4 guesses, our last games are actually what's going to make the game, because we're going to be able to get the expensive ones easy, and the rest of them are like, yeah, we'll see.
All right, Alex, you're up. What's your second game?
Going on over to the land of whatever it's called, and I'm going to choose Final Fantasy XVI.
Whoa. XVI, that's to the Activia theme song, which helps Jamie Lee Curtis poop. Clinically proven.
Activia.
It is the only yogurt clinically proven to help her poop. All right, so Final Fantasy XVI 4. This is not on PC, so it's just PlayStation 5.
PS5, yeah.
What do you think it's going to go for, Alex, while we stall for this to
I'm
load?
going to say $29.
$29.
A little bit under.
For Final Fantasy XVI. Come on, GameStop. Come on. You can do it. You can do it.
Is it GameStop's fault or is it the computer's fault?
It's GameStop's fault. Like, it's stuck. It's like a third
around.
loaded right now. Come on, baby. You got
Almost
it.
like that website is awful for a bad company.
All right, I'm gonna Command R. I'm gonna refresh. Here we go. Okay, Final Fantasy 16.
What do you got?
$18.70. Whew.
Okay. Oh, really?
Okay.
That's tragic.
I mean, it's almost we're getting close to a full year since its release, so it's to be expected at this point that its value would have diminished by a little bit.
All right, Adam, what's your second game?
Give me Super Mario Brothers Wonder.
Whoa, Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Are you Nintendo Switch, or are you the Steam Deck emulator for Nintendo Switch?
The one that doesn't cost anything to play? No, yeah, the Switch, obviously.
Okay.
I'm thinking.
Tell me about your strategy. Why are you picking Super Mario Bros. Wonder?
So I'm going to pick games that are late in the year and games that are Nintendo games. Obviously, normally fare better. Later in the year should keep their value sooner. I'm guessing like 28.
28. Let's see. GameStop's website is chugging. It is chugging. Come on, GameStop.
You got to do it on your phone, maybe?
My phone is my camera.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
I'll do it over here on my iPad. Here we go.
Okay.
GameStop.com. Super Mario Bros. Wonder, $33.
33.
Got another 33, baby.
See, now I'm at the point where all the big Nintendo games are gone and all the games that came out at the end of the year are gone. So,
So now you're in the situation where you're like, I got to think of something that is
that
at
would keep its
least
value.
$18.80 because it looks like the most anything can be is $33 maybe.
Yeah.
So Cozy, with that knowledge, knowing that Adam's currently at $66 and you're at $51.70, what is your third game?
Would you accept Pikmin 4?
Whoa.
Which is a game that was nominated for various things and did win like best strategy game.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, these don't have to be GOTY nominated. They're just nominated in some way.
At the thing.
So Pikmin 4 is a Nintendo Switch game.
Yes.
Whose price I will reveal after Adam chooses his last game.
Okay, I like how you did that.
Yeah.
So he's got one last game. I've got a last game.
Yep.
So my thinking here, Chad, I'll just walk you through it. Do I want to pick a VR game? Obviously, would probably be Horizon Call of the Mountain, just because, but I'm like, I don't know what the resale value on those are. Like, I know it's new technology and it's a first party game, but if those things aren't flying off the shelf, is GameStop going to give you shit for the games? So I'm between that, and I'm between Jedi Survivor, just because EA maybe doesn't give discounts as quickly as the other people. And then Resident Evil 4 is the other idea in my head. But I think I'm going to go, ooh, fuck. What about a fighting game? You know what? Give me Mortal Kombat 1.
Whoa! Mortal Kombat.
That's was it a September game or something? It was later in the year. It's popular. Maybe that. I don't think it's going to get me $33 again, but I think.
What platform?
Maybe that'll. You want the most trading value? Give me PS5.
PS5 version. Would you believe me if I said that these games are the exact same value?
Oh, wow. Really?
Yep.
Really?
And that value is $24.20.
Ooh.
Which means Adam has chosen wisely and has a total of $90.20. Cozy, you have chosen less wisely, and you have a total of $75.90.
Your Final Fantasy series let me down, Chad.
My Final
me
Fantasy
down.
series.
Yeah, your Final.
J'accuse. That's it. I had a second round going, but I'll be honest, the frame rate thing is back, and this is torture.
Your
trying to
computer's
do it.
fucking
So
with you.
yeah, we're just going to do
By
this
the
one.
way, I'll take the win. It's fine.
Yeah,
I will say, though, that your idea, this game, gave me an idea for next week's Adams segment. So I have an idea for a game for next week that is kind of piggybacking off of what you did here today.
Cool. I'm also very happy to see that the frame rate issue is just on my display and not actually coming across in the stream. Cool.
No, stream seems fine. Yeah.
Well, dope. That brings us to the end of episode 353 of Respawn Aim Fire. If you are listening to this, you get the wonderful surprise of homework as a congratulations to making it to the end of the episode. Thank you so much. You get to do us some things. One, go to patreon.com/respawn-aim-fire, where you can sub for $1. I don't think we mentioned that enough, that $1 is all that you have to do.
$1.
$1. $1. $1, one duck. And you get, one, the ability to vote on barf games, like you all just did. And this month is... Fuck, I already forgot. We opened the episode. Oh, Kerbal Space Program. Not Space Monkey Program, but Kerbal Space Program, which is available right now. If you're listening to this on launch of this episode, you have like, I don't know, 15 hours before this now goes back up to full price on PlayStation. So
it's like, for the record, I believe the sale ends on the 9th. So it's like 15 hours plus.
Okay.
You have 10 minutes to go buy this video.
This game for $10 if you want to play it with us. The PlayStation website said for me it was 11:59 p.m.
Immediately buy this game.
11:59 p.m.
Go and immediately buy this game
PDT.
that we don't earn any commission on. So it's kind of weird that we're being really forceful about asking you to go and buy this.
I'm trying to do our patrons a solid and give them a deal. Otherwise, you're going to have to pay $40 for this 115-hour game that Alex already told you don't have to finish because you're not going to want to. So, it's available a lot of places. It's on sale. Kerbal Space Program. You also get exclusive access to for a month to our newest RAF game show, which right now up is the RAF Pitch Perfect episode that we just did with CG Danny B. It's CG, right? Not CJ. CG. Computer games is how I'm going to remember that. CG Danny B and Dave Jackson. And we had to pitch Pokemon based on engines. And that was a fun-ass time with real creative things. And surprise, just as unjust as ever. So keep that in mind as you watch it. That's available right now only to patrons for the month of May. Those of you who are not patrons who said, you know what, y'all are shitty Cocoa Puff. And we said, fine, we'll give you something for free. And it's last month's thing. And so you now have access to the live episode of Rafferty that was done in Cambridge next to Boston at the same time-ish as PAX weekend. So you get to see that done live in person. Again, with Joel Campos from Pixel Street Podcast, Jerica from JK Games Podcast, Matt from RI, and Alex, IRL, from this, and Cozy Bear's Cooking. Cooking with Cozy Bear? Cozy.
Cooking in the kitchen with
Cozy. What the fuck is it called? God damn it, why can I never get this right?
It's called Cozy Bear's Cooking. And speaking of which, I'm glad you brought that up, Chad. Cozy Bear's Cooking Season 5, going to be debuting late June.
Ooh.
Exact dates TBD. And the exact dishes I'm going to be making TBD as well. If you have at home any ideas for fun dishes I can make on stream, by all means, hit me up and let me know what you would want to see me do. I am taking any suggestions you might have, so long as it's not overly complicated and something that would take like 6 hours for me to make.
Does it have to be video game related, or can it just be any food?
No, it can be anything. If it's, I might go in and I might plus up and be like, oh, here's a way I can take this video game food and make it video gamey. I might just leave it as is if I feel like it's an interesting enough dish. We'll see.
Dope. Check that out. Late June. That's it for everyone. Until next. Oh, and we'll plug it one more time. Go watch the new Barf episode for Dave the Diver. That is, we just recorded that right before this, so that should be up probably by the time you're listening to this as well. And that's it. Thank you everyone for listening. Until next time, here's our usual sign off. Cooking in the kitchen with Cozy. Cooking in the kitchen, I know. Whoa.
I know.